Well, hello, everybody. This is Pastor Russ here, and I'm so glad to have you with me for our mini Bible study. Today we are on the book of Genesis, chapter 41. I call this the Pharaoh's Dream. And this is when, if you remember the last time we met, Joseph was with the cupbearer and the baker, and they were in prison, and he interpreted the dreams of the cupbearer and the baker. And he told them both, he said, remember me when you see the Pharaoh. Well, they forgot all about him. But some years have passed now. So we're going to read starting in 41 and read as far as we can today. So let's jump right into it. When 2 full years had passed, Pharaoh had a dream. He was standing by the Nile when out of the river there came up 7 cows, sleek and fat, and they grazed among the reeds. After them, 7 other cows, ugly and gaunt, came up out of the Nile and stood beside those on the river bank. And the cows that were ugly and gaunt ate up the 7 sleek, fat cows. Then the Pharaoh woke up. He fell asleep again and had a second dream. 7 heads of grain, healthy and good, were growing on a single stalk. After them, 7 other heads of grain sprouted, thin and scorched by the east wind. The thin heads of grain swallowed up the 7 healthy full heads. Then the Pharaoh woke up. It had been a dream. In the morning his mind was troubled, so he sent for all the magicians and wise men of Egypt. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but no one could interpret them for him. And this is something that folks back in the time of Joseph and Jacob, more in these ancient days, they trusted in dreams. They believed in more of the supernatural, that it was trying to give them a message. And so no one could be found to interpret these dreams. And then it says in verse 9, then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, today I am reminded of my shortcomings. Pharaoh was once angry with his servants, and he imprisoned me and the chief baker in the house of the captain of the guard. Each of us had a dream the same night, and each dream had a meaning of its own. Now a young Hebrew was there with us, a servant of the captain of the guard. We told him our dreams, and he interpreted them for us, giving each man the interpretation of his dream, and things turned out exactly as he interpreted them to us. I was restored to my position, and the other man was hanged. So Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was quickly brought from the dungeon. When he had shaved and changed his clothes, he came before Pharaoh. Now, this is kind of interesting because the Israelites, the Jewish people, believed that they should let their hair grow. So they had beards and their hair grew longer. And the Egyptians thought that this was unclean. And so they demanded that everything be shaved off. So Joseph had to be cleaned up. He shaved and he got cleaned up, changed his clothes. Then he came before Pharaoh. Verse 15. Pharaoh said to Joseph, I had a dream and no one can interpret it. But I've heard it said of you that when you hear a dream, you can interpret it. I cannot do it, Joseph replied to the Pharaoh. But God will give Pharaoh the answer he desires. Notice the growth here, the maturity of Joseph. He is not saying anymore that he can interpret the dream, but it's God who uses him to interpret the dream. Verse 17. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, in my dream I was standing on the bank of the Nile, when out of the river there came up 7 cows, fat and sleek, and they grazed among the reeds. After them 7 other cows came up, scrawny and very ugly and lean. I had never seen such ugly cows in all the land of Egypt. The lean, ugly cows ate up the 7 fat cows that came first. But even after they ate them, no one could tell that they had done so. They looked just as ugly as before. And then I woke up. In my dreams, I also saw 7 heads of grain, full and good, growing on a single stalk. After them, 7 other heads sprouted, withered and thin, and scorched by the east wind. The thin heads of grain swallowed up the 7 good heads. I told this to the magicians, but none could explain it to me. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, The dreams of Pharaoh are one and the same. God has revealed to Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads of grain are 7 years. It is one and the same dream. The 7 lean, ugly cows that came up afterward are 7 years, and so are the 7 worthless heads of grain scorched by the east wind. They are 7 years of famine. It is just as I said to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. 7 years of great abundance are coming throughout the land of Egypt, but 7 years of famine will follow them. Then all the abundance in Egypt will be forgotten, and the famine will ravage the land. The abundance in the land will not be remembered because the famine that follows it will be so severe. The reason the dream was given to Pharaoh in 2 forms is that the matter has been firmly decided by God, and God will do it soon. See, that was a belief in interpreting dreams, is if you got the same dream over and over, that means it's been set. It's not something that's a maybe. It's going to happen according to God's plan. And continuing now with verse 33, Joseph is still talking. And now let Pharaoh look for a discerning and wise man and put him in charge of the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh appoint commissioners over the land to take 1/5 of the harvest of Egypt during the 7 years of abundance. They should collect all the food of these good years that are coming and store up the grain under the authority of Pharaoh to be kept in the cities for food. This food should be held in reserve for the country, to be used during the 7 years of famine that will come upon Egypt, so that the country may not be ruined by the famine. The plan seemed good to Pharaoh and to all of his officials. So Pharaoh asked them, "Can we find anyone else like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God?" Now, he mentions God here, but I really don't think that Pharaoh is a God-fearing person. I would not say that he is a believer in God, but he just wants to hedge his bets here, and he trusts in anyone that can give him a good interpretation. Verse 39. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you. You shall be in charge of my palace, and all my people are to submit to your orders. Only with respect to the throne will I be greater than you." And so we're going to end our reading of chapter 41 with verse 40. We'll read the last 15 chapters next week when we have a little bit more time. But from the outhouse to the penthouse, Joseph suddenly is promoted because of his ability to interpret the dreams. And he was in the right place at the right time. And I think that's really what luck really is. It's when preparedness meets opportunity. So Joseph was prepared, and then when the opportunity came, then he was able to take advantage of this, and he was promoted. And so it is with us. We need to stay ready, and we need to stay prepared for whatever happens. And then when the opportunity arises, then we too, just like Joseph, can take advantage of it. Well, friends, so glad that you joined with me today for this, little mini Bible study in 10 minutes or less. If you want to check out other, Bible studies that I have, other books of the Bible, just go here to pastorruss.net, and on there you're going to see those videos. You're going to see also different hymn videos. You're going to hear all my podcasts are located there, plus other special things as well. Check that out. Also want to encourage you to check out the Facebook page, Through the Fire with Pastor Russ. You have things like this mini Bible study and other special things throughout the week. So this is Pastor Russ saying, until we meet again, God bless you and have a great and wonderful day.